This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. We're back in Chicago. We're in Lincoln Park at the TECALITLAN Mexican bar. Was it Margarita and Taco Bar?
Yes, sir.
It is great location. It is starting to fill in as people are starting to walk in. But yeah, we are live in Chicago for the Chicago Bears Packers pregame. And Ivan, I know you're nervous. I'm not nervous. I got faith in my Chicago Bears. And we're gonna have a great time here. We got cold beer.
Oh, I mean, anytime you get the beer, I'm good.
Yeah, we're good. Right.
But, yeah, I am nervous. You know what I mean? And it's good nerves because I feel like this is a position we haven't been in a while. And regardless of what the chatter has been up north, I feel like the level of confidence or the level of anxiety has been low, definitely, but the level of confidence has been just steady here in Chicago. I don't think any Chicago fan or Bears player, which is more important, is taking this game to the head, right? No, not just lightly necessarily, but just to the head, where it's like it's overblown, right? Where it's they're taking it 1 week at a time. They're consistent with that. That's what they've been preaching every single week.
Right.
And I feel like this week is just the same thing. Keep that same type of mentality 1 week at a time, one play at a time, one opponent at a time. Just keep that steady focus. And I think the Chicago Bears are doing just that. Now, if we do want to talk about the chatter up north, it's been a lot more prevalent than I've seen in recent years. The amount of shit talking that I've heard from Packers fans, media.
Oh, they came out of their cheese.
It came out of nowhere, and I was like, man, I would think that they would be a little less vocal about it because of hey, like the situation is pretty important here, but it just seems to me like they're a little overconfident in what they think they're going to do here today.
Let me just tell you, we had Caleb Williams with 68, 67 sacks last season with Eberflus, and they beat you.
Right.
They beat you with the horrible offensive line, the defense that wasn't existent at this point, because at the end of the season, I felt like Eberflus, let go of the defense when he was gone, and it was non-existent. So you definitely had a team that was not supposed to beat the Packers in January and was able to beat the Packers, and now we have this team that's 9-3, and the offense is clicking. The running game is running motherfuckers over. Caleb has been game managing to a good point. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm like, some people say, oh, he's a game manager. Oh, that's a bad. You know what? Right now, at this point, as you're learning the offense and you're literally Ben Johnson's right arm, you see it on the field. He's calling players, hey, you're in the wrong spot. Move over here. He's managing the game, and once he gets something that it's available to him, he's taking it. He's making his better reads. You know what? He's like, hey, you know what? This is not good enough. I'm just going to throw the ball away. Hey, I'm going to take this opportunity. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's managing the game. Guess what? We're putting up points. And at the end of the day, it's W's. It's not individual stats.
Right. It's not individual stats. But to that point with the game managing situation, it's exactly this is the team. And I've said it so many times, like this is who your team is. Your team identity is another interception by Buffalo. Wow. Sorry.
Oh, Buffalo's going to come back. Look
crazy.
At this.
That is insane. Anyway, back to it. Your team identity is through the running game. That's your team identity.
Yes.
You guys are fighters. Your fight, claw, scratch, do whatever you got to do to get the victory. That's who you are, but it starts with the running game. Now, if we talk about Caleb Williams as being a game manager, I mean, that's it. When you get called upon to do this is your job, right? These are professionals. When you get called upon to do a job, you do the job, right? Like if Caleb's getting called upon to throw 50 times, Caleb's going to throw 50 times. If he gets called upon to just game manage, he's going to fucking game manage.
How many times we were complaining about last year? Like, oh, he's playing hero ball.
Right.
He's running around like a 2-year-old with a fucking chicken wing in his mouth.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a lot less now this year than what it was last year. So you're seeing the progression. You're seeing the game slow down week to week for him. Is it all sunshines and rainbows?
No,
No, it's not all sunshines and rainbows. But again, you're watching him week to week, and he's continuing to progress as the offense is progressing. Now, we're going to talk about, hitting open receivers. You want to talk about drops and stuff like that. Those things are definitely critical to taking this offense to another level. And you heard Ben Johnson this week talk about it. But again, when he's handling the situation, it seems like there's no situation that is too big for Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just say, as you're watching it progress, going into this year, we didn't expect 9-3. We're blessed with 9-3. Your quarterback is still developing. This offense is still developing. Take it as that. Enjoy the ride, and just keep watching keep watching development. If there's something that's going to drastically change with Caleb's mechanics, with his play style, with his understanding of the offense, trust me, I will call it out. We will call it out. It'll be magnified, but that's not happening right now. So there's a lot of pressure going upon, Caleb to be this, to just be all world every week. He doesn't have to be all world every week, especially when you give him things, players around him or a running game around him that takes the pressure off of his back. You don't need him to be the hero.
You don't need to be hero. And a lot of things, talking about the offense, he's got weapons, and he's going to rely on those weapons. And I think today the biggest weapon is going to be the run game and a tight end game. Not even because the tight end has to chip that big bastard that's going to be coming at us, but at the same time, once you chip, release, and be the release valve for Caleb. If he's got nothing open on the secondary, the throw down field, give it to Loveland, give it to Komet, give it to your running game, which is going to be on the left side or right side in the flat, and get rid of the ball.
Yeah, I expect them to be heavy today, running heavy. 12, 13, a bunch. I expect them to be running heavy, big personnel out there throughout the game. Now, when it comes down to the tight ends, I feel like this might be their game, right? Both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yes.
I have a feeling Cole Kmet and Loveland will be the X factors in this game. And even if Smythe comes in as playing a role as a fullback or playing that third tight end role or whatever, what have you, the tight ends will be the difference. I feel it will be an X factor. I won't say the difference. It will be an X factor in today's game for the Chicago Bears. Now, remember, Green Bay's without their number one receiver, which is at tight end, right? And Tucker Kraft. Unfortunately, he was hurt and he's out for the year. But you can't underestimate how many times I've seen a Bears team not utilize a tight end and end up on the opposite end of a victory. So I would say today's the day that you see that 12-man Ben Johnson philosophy being used, and both tight ends eat.
Yeah, they're definitely going to eat. Quickly, we're going to get Steven here in a quick second once he logs in. But the injury report, Rome Odunze is out with a foot. You got Tyreek Stevenson out with a hip. You got Ruben Hippolyte out with a shoulder. You got Andrew Billings out with a concussion, but he looks like he will be playing. TJ Edwards is back. Jalen Johnson is back. Manungai, my guy, is back. Manungai. Yep, you got to do that. Dominic Robinson is back in the mix, and so is Nua Sewell. So our linebackers are back, and that's a great thing to have because those guys who stepped in the last couple of weeks have been showing out, have been stepping up, next man up mentality, have been taking care of business. The secondary, same thing. Those guys have been taking care of CJ Johnson. Now we got options on defense where you can mix and match based on matchups and on coverage.
Right. And it makes me excited to see what is going to come to
Dennis Allen's got a lot to cook with.
To the front. Dennis Allen has, now he has more starters to cook with. Let's see what happens, and especially in the secondary. Now that you have both linebackers and Gordon and Johnson back.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, Stevenson is out, but Nahshon Wright, right man at the right time. I expect Nahshon Wright to continue what he's been doing with this breakout year that he's had. Nahshon Wright, I got to give him the the flowers that he deserves. You got to give Byard and his flowers, because you got to re-sign Byard. To be honest with you, I
gotta sign him.
And I know he's even mentioned he would do whatever it takes to, like, in his contract to stay here in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like all for it. I'm like, keep that. That is a leader. Not only a leader, a playmaker that you can't afford to lose at this point in time. I know you're growing a locker room, you're growing a culture. That's a culture guy that you can't just get rid of and expect somebody else to replace, because you see what he's been doing, influencing the secondary, influencing that defense, influencing the game, that definitely changing the tides of the game. So a guy like Kevin Byard is somebody that it should, and I guarantee you will, be a Chicago Bear moving forward. Let's go ahead and bring in our guy, Big Steve Edwards. There he is.
There he
Big
is.
Steve,
What up, Big Steve?
What's up, man? What's going on with y'all?
Man, I thought you were coming for the margaritas and the amazing Mexican food here, bro.
Oh, man. I woke up this morning and I saw all that snow.
He said, hell no.
I was like, what the fuck is going on out here?
It's Chicago, man. You played in this
driveway that I would have to shovel. I was like, man.
See, he didn't have to shovel when he was playing, though. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't have to shovel when he was playing. They had people for that. So
yeah, nobody. That's all my work today now. So yeah, I was like, man, I didn't know. As we got closer to the show, I was like, I could have went out. I wanted to grab a pizza. I was like, it ain't that fucking bad out. But when you're looking outside your window, when you first wake up, you're like, it looks like the end of the world.
Oh yeah.
But then when you get out in it, you're like, this shit ain't that bad. So,
no, it was a dusting. Yeah. It was a dusting.
Yeah.
It's not so bad. But
it looked like you guys are straight over there, got the big old beers.
Oh, yeah. Well, funny enough, they serve Casa Humilde where we just came from. They serve it here.
Oh, for real? Oh,
yeah, they got that. They got Pacifico. They got Revolution and Modelo and some other 2 beers. But this is a tequila margarita bar. So we are going to definitely have some tequila. And then at halftime, we're going to talk with one of my friends who is bringing a mezcal from Mexico into the U.S. market. And he's going to be talking with us and serving us some free mezcal. So you missed out, Big Steve.
I know. I missed out on Blanton's last week. I missed out on.
Yeah, you're 2 for 2, man.
2 for 2. 0 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 for 2.
0 for 2. Yeah, 2 for 2.
Well, Steve,
like I said, I got the collection, so I'll pick out of my million bottles here.
Right. Steve, let's go ahead and jump into this game, man.
Yes,
because
sir.
It's been and I was telling, we were just talking how much more vocal the Packers side has been in this game as opposed to any other game that I could think of for a long time. And it doesn't feel like it to me, it doesn't, rub off as confidence. It rubs off as desperation. It rubs off as concern, right?
Yeah.
When you want to fake the funk, you go ahead and hide behind a big chest. So that's kind of where I think some of these Packer fans are. What do you think about this game? How did the Chicago Bears go up to Lambeau Field and get the victory today?
Well, first let's talk about all the talking coming out of the Packers side. And Michael Parkin said we're disrespectful. Well, the Packers have been disrespectful to Chicago and Chicago Bears fans for the longest. So
right.
If we want to look at disrespect, the chatter from there. When you got a threat coming, and we're just in the beginning stages, and if this is what the beginning stages of what Chicago is headed towards, then yeah, I would be scared too, and I might be chatting and trying to instill my they have had a level of dominance over us, so I would still be chatting it up, because you'll see this, like when a team is coming, any sport. When somebody's a threat, you get a little more chattery and a little more talkative because the threat is coming, and it's coming at a team that's 9-3. I don't think it's coming from a cocky standpoint. It's coming from confidence from the Bears that they're believing in what they're doing. They're not talking. The Bears haven't heard them say anything. Obviously, they could pull back what Caleb has said in the past. That was last year. You could say what Ben has said, but they've said plenty, and especially through the lens of their former quarterback, too. But as far as what you need to do, I go back on some of the successes we've had in Lambeau. and that's come out and run the ball and play our game and not think twice about what the heck is going on around you. It's a unique experience. You go there, it's just like playing. It's almost like playing a football game in Beverly. It's like all of a sudden you're in a neighborhood and there's a stadium there, and that's all you got up there. So, it's just like any other place. It does have a mystique about it, but you can't concern yourself. You're coming up there on a business trip. You do what you got to do. You assert your game plan. You assert your dominance in the line of scrimmage, and that's how we got to get done. And that's, guess what? That's our identity. That's what we do. So we have to do those things. Take care of the football, run the ball early and often, control the line of scrimmage. And let's play some football. And that's the end of it. Like, there's nothing to be intimidated by these folks, and that's why they're talking.
Steve, as a former player, what is it like in the locker room on Packer Week?
It's that level. I think every team is going to be different. I can lean back on when we had Lovey, and Lovey made his comments. So you can always go back to when a coach has kind of said, in gamemanship, and they said something. Lovey said our number one thing in his opening press conference was to beat the Pack. Right. And our mentality was of nothing but confidence. And that year we weren't having a good year. Like, we were in a rebuilding under the Lovey regime, and we weren't having the success that this team was having, but you knew the culture was changing and it was heading in the right direction. We weren't cocky that week. We was just still focused on what we needed to do, and we knew what we had to do was run the football and run it with Thomas Jones and assert our dominance in that way and play takeaway football. Sounds eerily the same to a team that is built built similarly, kind of what we were. Run the football and take the ball away. And the bonus is you have a quarterback who's in development stages that when you need him to make a big play, a big throw, he has that capabilities of doing that. So that's what you lean into. You focus on each other, and the Bears have been doing that on the road, and you just take it to the next level. I'm really, as each week goes, I'm very curious to see how this team performs.
Yeah, and looking at how they played last week, I would imagine that there'd be some adjustments, but for my liking, I would like them to stick with that similar game plan. But you see how teams are starting to game plan for Caleb Williams' escapability, right? And whether it's successful or not, regardless of that, they're starting to catch on to say, hey, man, we got to stop him from trying to escape and making more time for himself. Defensively, when you look at the Green Bay Packers, Micah Parsons is the biggest concern. You got some you're getting a couple people. I think we're getting like one or two people back, regardless of that. How do you feel the Green Bay Packers defense how do you feel them against this offensive line? Do you see them dominating? Do you see them beating us in pass protection and pass pro? Where do you see this offensive line for the Bears and the defensive line for the Packers? Where do you see the matchup being won?
If there's going to be one, it's going to be on those edges for the Green Bay, and there's going to be one for us on those edges. That's where the battles. You got Gary out there on one edge. You got Michael Parsons. Now, the question will be how much would they move Michael Parsons around? Are they going to move him interior? Are they going to do that? I feel like, that's what he's good at, moving around, but also they might not want to keep him in one place because that's when Ben Johnson will expose you and game plan you. So I just foresee him moving around a little bit, trying to keep eyes on him, but it's going to be one on those edges. Obviously, the key matchup is Darnell Wright. He's been the guy who's playing at a Pro Bowl level. And he's given up one or two pressures in the game, or he's had his moments, but he dominates his matchup for the most part. So we need him to continue to do that. Whoever's matched up against him, Gary, Michael Parsons, we need him to win those battles. The key is going to be where Trapillo is. Obviously, we only had that one clip last week against Philly where he dealt with that wide 9 rush, and his feet weren't just quick enough to get back. So obviously that's something Green Bay is looking at. That Michael Parsons, those edge rushers are looking at how do we expose a guy like Trapillo. You guarantee you they see that he has slow feet, and they want to take advantage of that. So what is our game plan? What is Trapillo's game plan to deal with that? What is Ben Johnson's game plan with tight ends and whatnot? But also what unique about the Bears is how they can attack you in the run game. And that's another key component. All the stuff that Ben Johnson has been showing, particularly last week, backside, sending tight ends to wham block you, sending DJ Moore to cut block. That's got a lot. That's going to play a lot into their head as well. They're going to have to, not just rush up the field. You're going to see a lot of different things thrown at those defensive edge rushers to prevent them from getting off the ball. So that's also it's going to be a very, just not those matchups, but the gamemanship and the scheme that Ben Johnson calls as well.
And that's why this is why me and Steve work so well together, because I was saying this the other day on Cars Keys, the same thing. I like every play, Micah Parsons, Rashawn Gary need to be hit. They need to be punished. They need to know you're going to be attacked continuously throughout the game. And I would expect 13. I would expect 12. I would expect jumbo shit. Just put, you know what I mean? I would expect that. Come after a game that you had in Philadelphia where you saw this offensive line running wise, just it was a masterpiece. It was a masterpiece in blocking in the run game, and they did well. I would imagine you go into this game as Ben Johnson thinking, hey man, it's cold. It was snowing in Green Bay. I know they got the tarp over, but it's still cold and snowy. Let's go ahead and hammer some motherfuckers.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's what it's going to just be, that physicality. That's the thing you don't want to see. Obviously, I think, you're going to have a tough matchup. It's going to be in a different capacity. Last week was the interior guys that you were really worried about with Philadelphia. Now you got the edge rushers are going to be the guys you're going to have to worry about. But the experience of the Bears and handling all these different type of defensive lines, I think – will be interesting because you have more of an edge threat. I think this is going to be a team that presents the toughest edge threat to the Bears. Even when you think about the Steelers, you had Hayward in there. You had some really stout guys. Baltimore Ravens, you got some really stout guys. This Green Bay team is really predicated off of the edge pressure that's created by Gary and Parsons. So new challenge for this O-line, but the thing remains the same. You got to run the ball. Ben Johnson scheme it up. Everybody execute it, but the physicality, the attitude that we saw last week needs to be carried on into this game, and that's how we're going to win this game, controlling the ball and running this ball right up the gut, play action. Now we get the run game going. Now this is going to be a game that receivers, you got to keep your foot. And Caleb, if you go through your fourth progression read, you got to get that foot in the ground and deliver it. It's also be a game we need Caleb to come up big as well. He's going to have to make some big throws in this game.
Yeah, for me, looking at the Bears, we beat the last year's Super Bowl champion, and they are a formidable opponent. And I feel like Green Bay is not to their level, even though Philadelphia is having some trouble lately. But I feel like we just overhyped it because this is the Bears-Packers game, and okay, they got Michael Parsons, but we faced our line rush every single game. We've faced an all-star or a Pro Bowler every single week. So I feel like for Ben Johnson, this is just another day in the offense of scheming a way of getting someone to be using their over-aggressiveness and use it to our advantage. And we talked about it before you jumped on, Big Steve, is that the tight ends are going to have a large role in this offense this week, whether it's chipping and then releasing and being a safety valve for Caleb Williams. I see the running backs also being, on the left, on the right as a safety valve as they rush in. He's on my left as these guys running to my right. Cool. Here you go. You're using their over aggressiveness against them. And then with the play action, you can go deeper. And I feel like Ben Johnson has taken every single assignment and adjusted so well to it. It's just about the Bears players executing the game plan.
Absolutely, it's gonna be us just executing what Ben Johnson is calling, and I mean, at this point, I think it's always been that, but you're starting to see a team more comfortable what he's calling, and what he's, and I think it's been an adjustment period as you start looking at Caleb and his adjustment, the O-line, how they've come about. Yeah, they paid a lot of big time. It took them some time to gel and understand this system, because Ben Johnson does throw a lot at you. He throws a system where you can always adjust. He's adjustable game to game. He has his base offense, but that thing is so flexible and so movable. It's a thing of keeping up. And you think about Luther Burden. Why wasn't Luther Burden in early in the season? You heard things of he wasn't quite up to speed on the offense. He didn't know where he was going. So that's obviously a major talent, but you got to know what you're doing. And that takes a little bit of time. Some guys learn at a different pace. It's just like being in school.
Ben Johnson.
Don, you don't have to be Don. I'm allowing you on here, Don. You don't have to be afraid of Phil or Shayne. You have to be afraid of me. And now you're gone, Don. Bye, Don.
No.
What's up with Don? What's mad with him? Who's Don?
Don's a Lions fan. He's mentioning Phil. Do you see Phil and Shayne here?
I never seen him.
I didn't see Phil and Shayne here.
I mean, we love to have Phil and Shayne here, but they're not here.
Of course,
He said, I'm not scared. It's some weird. Well, you got to understand. You got some weirdos that sit behind a keyboard that are weird in this mode.
You got to be afraid of me, Don, because I could
he's
just
all up on another show. Phil and Shayne ain't here.
Come on now, Don.
Is he blocked on the other shows? Is that why?
He's on every fucking show. It's just like I find him funny sometimes. I allow it to happen, but then you just don't even acknowledge me as like you don't even you
wow.
Shayne aren't here right now. They will be here at the halftime show on the Patreon side and also on BHL, but they're not here on the pregame, Don. Bye, Don.
Don.
Oh my God.
All right, Don.
Don, you're not going to have margaritas and tacos with us. Let's get into our players of the game. Let's start with Ivan, then the Big Steve, and then I'll close it up.
Prediction size?
Yeah.
Right,
it's almost game time. Yeah.
All right, we'll start with me. Okay, I already had it. I got 21-20 Chicago Bears. I find it to be the tightest 6 points. The touchdown separation. I don't find that to be realistic, but I find it to be way closer than what for our liking. But I think the Bears squeak out with a victory, 21-20. I had my guy over 100 yards, Kyle Monangai, and then I have a split 100 yards, 50 on the ground and 50 through the air for Swift. So the Bruise Brothers, as people like to.
I like that.
It's not me. I didn't do that.
I like that.
They said it. They've been putting out there. The Bruise Brothers get some love today. So,
Steve,
I'm going to go Bears 24. I'm going to go Green Bay 21. Bears walking away with victory, keeping this thing going. My picks click are I think the offensive line got to throw them the love. However that and what's that mean? Pass pro, running the ball. They're going to be the key cog. So I'm going to go with them. Success in the air and on the ground. And in the air, I got Caleb Williams coming over 300 yards. 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. So that's what I got for Caleb. But it's gonna. I mentioned the O-line. That's going to be the success of it all. The run game is going to be there. We're going to have great success there. But I'm giving the credit to the O-line already, and the pass game is going to be there. And that success is going to result in Caleb getting on point, 300 yards, 2 in the air, 1 in the run game. And defensively, I got damn, what do I want defensively? I think TJ Edwards will have an impact and coming back into the fold. But let's go with this. I got Jalen Johnson coming up out the woodwork. Jalen and Kyler Gordon. Let's get 2 pick for each one of those guys.
Okay, I like it.
I am going to go 24-20 Bears. I'm going to go with Nashawn. My guy can't do no wrong. Definitely getting another pick. As far as the running game, I see both of these guys getting 80 yards, and I see the Swift's getting about 40 yards in receiving, so he'll make that over 100 yards.
Yeah.
And again, the tight end is going to be essential in this game, chipping and releasing and getting some more yards. So give it to Loveland. I want Loveland to get 60 plus yards.
That's a nice one. That's a nice pick right there.
Yeah, because I don't see. Because you look at Colson Loveland, and we've been talking about it on TTNL, and Shayne was the most vocal. Said it's like he's done being upset, and I'm done being upset. I think we're all accepting that Colson Loveland is a good player.
Yes.
Now, if we want to talk process, that's a different story. But regardless of that, we don't have to be upset about the process because the guy is performing. Now, when you put a outside linebacker, are they still running 3-4, Steve? Yeah, they're still running 3-4 up in Green Bay, right?
Yeah, they are.
You're going to put an outside linebacker edge on a guy that could run like
wide receiver, like a receiver,
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
let
trouble.
That boy eat.
That's trouble.
Let that boy eat.
That's
Let's go.
trouble. And if they're gonna double him, guess who opens up? Cole Kmet. So I think, and I was saying this before, Steve, the tight ends are the X factor. The tight ends can eat today.
Absolutely, you're right. Those I don't know why I didn't think about that, but that if part of Caleb's 2 touchdowns, one to Cole Kmet, one to Loveland.
Right
in there.
There you go. Love it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with the halftime show live from TECALITLAN, Margarita and Taco Bar. We are in Lincoln Park, and we'll be back with a special little thing for halftime that Steve's not going to enjoy, but we're going to enjoy it for him.
Go ahead. Y'all live it up, boy. Hey, what happened to that beer, Ivan? That shit gone?
Oh, it's gone. Yeah. You see what's up?
I swear that thing was filled to the brim when we started.
It was. It started out full, but it's gone now.
All right, fellas.
All right, we'll see you at halftime. All right, everybody. See you at halftime.